Hello, hello, hello. So what causes us to suffer? Huh? What's our main reason that we suffer? First of all, before we even get into this, I want to say that I don't even think suffering is like automatic. I think suffering is optional, right? We can feel sad. We can feel depressed. We can feel grief. We can feel betrayed. We can feel sore, whatever it is, right? But if we could remember that emotions, this too shall pass, emotions are meant to flow, they're meant to come, they're meant to go, then we can move through our lives in a different way than if we start indulging in it, right? We start indulging in the grief, indulging in the sadness, indulging in the betrayal, then we suffer. Okay, so suffering, I think, is optional. But why do we suffer? That's what we're going to talk about today. What is the main reason that we suffer? But before we get there, I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new to this channel, I hope that this work is as deep of benefit to you as it is and has been for me on my own transformational healing journey, this self-reflection and this open-minded pondering. I hope it's really beneficial, and I just want to say welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome, welcome back, welcome back. If you are enjoying a particular pondering video, don't forget to hit the like button. That way I get some feedback from you of what kinds of ponderings are really resonating with you, and I can give you more of that content. If you really are inspired by a pondering, please send it to a friend. Share this work. What greater gift can we do than to help someone see something that was inspiring to us, that we were exposed to, that can open their minds as well? Send it to them. And if you really, really love the work, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified right away and we can almost ponder in real time. Okay. Now, I'm going to post, I think it's going to be right there. I think it's going to be right there. I'm going to post a video about my top 10 signs that you're a people pleaser. And I think it's going to be in this little corner right here. And I'd like you to check that out, that video, if you haven't checked it out before, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, first of all, clutter. The whole month of October in the inner circle, we're talking about clutter. What is clutter? It's stagnated, it's heavy, it's stuck, it's not moving forward. It's useless, functionless junk, right? What's the opposite of clutter? Light and free and open and spacious and possibilities and all that. So that's what we've been talking about. There is a quote, I forget who said it right now, but we talk about it in the inner circle. It's like, I can't be open to anything new if my hands are still full of yesterday's junk, right? I can't be open to anything new if my hands are still full of yesterday's junk. So we're talking about decluttering. We're talking about decluttering in our physical body. We're talking about decluttering in our mental, emotional body. And we're talking about decluttering in our physical space, right? Just if your marriage is not up to speed with where you want it to be, go look at the bedroom. What's going on in the clutter on your nightstands and under your bed and in your underwear drawer? Like, clean it out. If you're not as productive as you want to be at work, what's going on with your desk? Do you know where your files are? Are your pens all out of ink? So you're decluttering in whatever level that you're working on. But today we're talking about this idea of suffering. Okay, this idea of suffering. So, okay. So the other day, someone asked me, "What's your story?" This guy said, "What's your story?" You know, and I thought, yeah, what is my story? What is my story? What is your story? How do you filter? How do you lens? How are you perceived? What is your perspective? Again, that people pleasing idea of like, where are we sort of putting something out there that is not serving us in the way that we want to be showing up? And that is ding, 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 what causes us suffering. When our outside does not match our inside, or when our inside does not match our outside, we suffer, right? We suffer. So one of the ways I want to show it to you today is in the inner circle. As I've mentioned, we talk about decluttering, and we talk about it through our emotions. So our emotions are the roadmap to our thinking. The body, the emotions, the vibes, that is the roadmap to our thinking. If you want to know what you think, how do you feel? That's going to give you a good idea. So if you're grieving, if you feel skeptical, if you feel fragile, if you feel agitated, right? If you feel these things, the thoughts that you're thinking is causing that, okay? Causing that. So the first thing I want you to know is that we can actually look at what we're feeling beyond the happy, sad, glad, angry, what, like, am I frustrated or am I irritated? Am I disappointed or am I angry? Like, look at the difference in the feeling tones. What are they for you? And then what are the thoughts that are causing me to feel this way? So for example, let's say that I feel skeptical, right? I feel skeptical. I might get fired at work, right? I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical of the boss and his opinion of me. I want to say her. Let's make the boss a woman just for fun. Okay. I'm skeptical of her, seeing my value. Okay. And I have this sort of this skepticism when I'm around her or when I'm hearing about her, right? Or I see her walk by, right? That is because I am doubting her opinion of me. I am doubting what she sees as my worth. I'm doubting how she thinks that I'm, something that's going to be beneficial to the team, right? I'm doing all that. That's the truth, right? That's just the truth. But in this pondering video, I'm talking about suffering and I'm talking about making our insides and our outsides match. Because when we are out of sorts, when we are incongruent, that is when we suffer, when our outsides and our insides don't match. So in this situation that I'm explaining, this example, all that thought is happening and these feeling tones are happening. Guess what I'm doing? I'm showing up with a skepticism, right? What's your story? My story is that I'm skeptical of this situation at work. That's my story. That's my narrative, right? I don't want this to be how I feel. I don't want this to be how I show up, but it's happening for me. But I'm not a victim to it. So in this pondering video, what I'm wanting you to do is to declutter. I'm wanting you to go, okay, I feel skeptical and I feel like I'm, worried about how she's seeing me. Is there anything inside that is incongruent with the way I want her to be seeing me, right? Well, actually, I did tell the HR person that I thought she was right, a bad word. Maybe she told her that. I don't know. I can't tell, but maybe she did, right? Or I was using the printer during my work hours and I was printing out the book I'm writing and I was using office space, office time, and office supplies for my own personal use. And maybe somebody knows, right? And that's causing me to feel internally chaotic, even though no one on the outside knows any of this, right? I feel that way. I'm showing up that way. And then I'm looking for thoughts to sort of validate that because remember, everything is a mirror. I'm putting in this video here, this video right now, because this is an example of how I coach. So if you're wanting to know how I coach the mindset, this is an example of that. So I think that will be right here or somewhere on this side, I believe. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. When we want to be doing something and we're doing something different, we are out of alignment. That is when we suffer. Because remember, joy, right? Abundance, love, contentment, that is our natural state. And whenever we're feeling these lower vibrational emotions, even though that's human, right? We all feel them. That means we are out of alignment with how we want to be showing up. So that's our clutter. That's our clutter. So I want you to ponder that. So what's your story? What's your story? My story, right? That I show up every day to move through my life in service and in love. I know that the primary relationship in my life is the one that I have with myself and maybe my higher power or God or spirit or soul or nature or however. And everything I do is moving from that place of love. Everything I do is aligning with how I want to be showing up. That's the story I want about my life, right? The story that I want to tell. How do I stay on that path? How do I make choices and thoughts and decisions and time spent in alignment with that? And that's what all this is about. You being self-reflective. How do I want to be showing up? How am I showing up? Am I going down the expressway at 65 miles an hour and wish I wasn't? Right? That is suffering. Am I wanting to be committed to this woman, but I'm thinking about other women? That is suffering, right? You're deciding You're deciding, you're using your mind, which makes you different than a horse or a raccoon, right? You're a human being and you can move your mind. You can move your mind. You can control your mind. You can learn to move it in ways that will serve you best. So that's the pondering. What causes us to suffer? When we are out of alignment and our insides and outsides don't match. How do we ponder in this particular topic? We're going to look at how we feel. How am I feeling about this situation? What is thoughts that are happening that are making me feel that way? Why do I feel sad? What am I thinking that's sad? What am I thinking that's making me feel skeptical? What am I thinking that's making, and then is there anything in me that I need to clean up so that I'm more congruent? Okay. As always, I hope this is a ponder that is going to be deeply nourishing for you. I hope to see you on the yoga mat soon or in the next pondering video. Deep bows. So much love, and namaste.